when you're doing strategic planning, what's that look like? Is that, long-term vision, outlook, what we're going to do in the next 10 years, 3 years, 1 year? How does that process work?
Well, first of all, we believe that if you look at what most people call strategic planning, it's neither strategic nor planning.
Right.
It's tactical. It's coming up with a set of action items, or it's setting goals in the middle of the year that you already know you're going to hit or not hit.
Yeah.
So like set the crappy stuff aside. The way we approach strategic planning is, what are the big ideas? What's who are you? Why do you exist? What's your purpose? We're trying to land that plane, trying to get clarity around purpose, vision, values, all of that. And if you don't have that, then what plan, you build, it's building your house on sand, right? So what's the solid rock? Let's get that right. Who are you? Why do you exist? What's your purpose? What's your values? What's your vision? What's your mission? Let's get some clarity around that. Then let's look into the future and say, what assumptions are we making about the future? And today, I think the critical assumptions about the future, anything more than 12 or 18 months out, is really just dreaming. Yeah. I still think we should think that way. But the pace and speed at which business evolves today is so quick. So you have to be agile and nimble. So, long term is no longer 5, 10, 20 years. So what are the critical assumptions that you have about the future? Based on those critical assumptions, what are impacting you the most? We play a game we call Kill the Company in 3 moves.
Oh, shoot.
And so, we say, all right, if you were going to kill your company in 3 moves, what's the first move? And usually we kill the company in 2 moves. Like, we know what 2 moves would kill your organization. And so were those moves into your critical assumptions? And so what's the black swan that could say that? Nobody 5 years ago would have said, well, global pandemic, but today you're like, okay, because I've seen that, what other things could change the way that we do things? If you're an e-commerce business and all of a sudden the electrical infrastructure goes down and there's no, neutrons, protons, electrons are no longer, able to move, how are you going to operate, and what's that look like? Or, some famous 14-year-old tweets or TikToks a video that totally destroys your product. Right. So what are those critical assumptions about the future? And then what are the big ideas? And when we look at the big ideas, what we're trying to think of is, what's the 1 or 2, or maybe, if it's amazing, 3 things that if you did would have the greatest impact on all that other stuff we just talked about. And then let's go after those 2 or 3 things. And now, if you double click on the 2 or 3 things, there might be 30 things you need to do to accomplish it. But let's only work after strategically the big ideas. And then the key, I think, and this is important, that's different from the way strategic planning has been done in the past, is the cadence at which you look at that has to be quick. Has to be, the drumbeat to how you're looking at that has to be every 2 weeks, every 4 weeks, at the minimum every quarter. And so with our clients, we pull up their plan, we pull up their actions, we pull up their vision every month. Yep. And we like, is this still accurate? Are these assumptions still correct? Where are we at on this? Why is this a green light? Why is this a red light? Yeah. And we interrogate where things are going. And so then when you get to the next year for your next plan, you're just now iterating, and you're iterating, and you're iterating. And what we're doing is, instead of conducting their strategic planning, we're helping them to think strategically.
Yeah, that's good.